truly brought down the mighty woolly mammoth. Join us as we delve into the dramatic story of their extinction, exploring the environmental shifts and human encounters that sealed their fate. Imagine an ancient world blanketed in frost and snow, where colossal woolly mammoths roamed the vast, icy steppes. Their silhouettes rose like mountains against the pale horizon-towering creatures of the Ice Age, covered in thick, shaggy fur, armored against the razor-sharp, cold by layers of subcutaneous fat and rugged hides. Their massive, curving tusks, sometimes stretching over 4 meters long, weren't just defensive weapons. They were versatile tools for foraging beneath the snow and dueling with rivals. Mammoths were not just survivors, they were the very architects of their frozen world. But life on the Pleistocene steppe was not for the faint of heart. The winters were vicious, the winds howled, and food was a constant challenge. Mammoths traveled in herds, navigating across tundra and grasslands in search of sedges and anything that could offer sustenance through the endless winters. Even for the mighty, survival was a daily gamble. Competition for resources was fierce. Herds of bison, horses, musk oxen, and even the menacing woolly rhinoceros all vied for the sparse greenery that fought to survive in these harsh lands. Yet, the most formidable challenge mammoths faced was not the cold, nor the saber-toothed cats stalking the dusk. Their greatest trial was change itself. As the last ice age drew to a close, around 12,000 years ago, the climate shifted with breathtaking speed. The glaciers receded, rivers swelled with meltwater, and the once boundless steppe became fragmented. Grasslands gave way to forests. Arctic meadows shrank, cutting off the mammoths' feeding grounds. Warmer temperatures meant wetter soils, less open steppe, and an explosion of new plant competitors less favored by the mammoths' specialized diets. And as new plant life flourished, new threats arrived. Large predators, saber-toothed cats, cave lions, and dire wolves were deadly, certainly, but they had always been part of the landscape. Mammoths had evolved alongside them, locked in an ancient contest. But another predator was on the move. Us. Humans, bold and adaptable, armed themselves with flint-tipped spears and devised new, coordinated hunting strategies. Clans followed mammoth herds across vast tracts of ice and prairie, learning to read the landscape and the animals' patterns. Archaeological evidence reveals a macabre record mammoth bones, marked with butchering cuts and arrow points, encircling ancient hearths. In places like Vastanis, in the Czech Republic, and sites in Siberia, evidence shows mammoth bones used not just for food but for shelters, a testament to how deeply entwined our ancestors' survival became with the fate of these great animals. Was it overhunting alone that pushed the mammoths toward extinction? The answer is nuanced. As habitats shrank and herds thinned, each loss weighed heavier. Fewer calves were born. More adult mammoths fell to hunger, cold snaps, and disease. Human hunting strained populations already reeling from climate upheaval. In some places, the last survivors castaways on remote islands like Wrangel Island and St. Paul Island clung to existence thousands of years after their mainland cousins had disappeared, only to eventually vanish as freshwater dwindled or new stressors emerged. By about 10,000 years ago, mainland woolly mammoths had largely disappeared from the earth, leaving behind only bones, tusks, and the impressions they'd stamped into the muddy earth. But their story was not finished. The search for answers continues. Frozen carcasses emerging from Siberian permafrost, DNA preserved in ancient teeth, footprints pressed into hardened mud. Each discovery deepens the mystery, suggesting new twists, diseases, changing plant chemistry, shifting migration routes, the possibility of catastrophic population collapse. Their extinction holds a mirror to us today. The fate of the mammoth warns of the dangers that come when rapid environmental change outpaces the ability of species to adapt. Especially when humans alter the balance, we see it echoed in the struggles of elephants, rhinos, and countless other creatures now facing their own tipping points. Yet the mammoth's legacy endures. Their images appear in ancient cave paintings, their bones shaped into tools and shelters by ice-aged artisans. They have inspired myths, legends, and modern quests to resurrect their kind through science. The very soil of the tundra still bears their imprint. Scientists have found that mammoths helped shape the vegetation by trampling shrubs, spreading seeds, and even slowing the encroachment of forests, keystone species in a vanished ecosystem. Today, studying mammoth remains gives us a window into the deep past, to the lives of ancient ecosystems and the intertwined destinies of animals and humans. The lessons we learn from their bones are urgent. The need for conservation, the value of understanding humanity's place in nature, and the deep consequences our actions can have on the world's giants. So next time you stand in the shadow of a museum mammoth skeleton, or see their spiral tusks etched in a photograph, remember, they were not just casualties of a vanished age. They are silent storytellers, reminding us of resilience, adaptation, and the fine line between survival and extinction, a story that is still being written in the ice and the earth, and in the challenges we face today.